Karen Schultz? No. Lori Fairbay?
Here.
Linda Robinson?
Here.
Kate Bliss, I see you. I hear you on the phone.
Here.
Pat Wheeler? Bob Blair here. Is Chris Keefe going to be with us?
I haven't seen her yet.
Okay. All right. So without objection, we will proceed to the agenda, initially to review and approve the minutes of the previous meeting, which Karen sent out. Anybody have any additions, corrections, snarky comments to make about it? Anything? No?
No, they were lovely.
Good. All right. We'll put that down.
Wait a minute.
Therefore,
The meeting says 12/5/23. That wouldn't have been 12/5. Would have been January, right? Or
It was January. I think that the file name may have been wrong or the date on top may have been wrong, but it was still stuff I think we covered in January.
okay, so they're both wrong. Oh, okay, January. All right,
Vicky.
I'll take the notes.
thank you.
24. Okay.
Would you get the date right on those notes, please? When you write them? Okay, that's good. Thank you. We knew we could count on you. All right, so do we have a motion to accept the minutes as somewhat correctly stated?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Lori Fairbay,
Aye.
Linda Robinson,
Aye.
Kate Bliss,
Aye.
Robert Blair, aye. And altogether, we. All right, minutes are approved. Fiscal updates, if you please, Victoria.
Yep, Lori, let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. So this is going to be for both January and for February. I mean, I'm sorry, for February and for March. So part-time wages are $874.67.
Wait a minute. Where are expenses? Oh, there it is. Okay. What is it again, please?
Part-time,
$874.67.
Yep. Okay.
My wages are $5,274.36.
Yep.
Donations are $178 even. And then expenses are $1,521.22.
Great.
that
Thank
would
you.
be the Powder House News primarily.
Correct.
Has that gone up again?
Correct.
Mhm.
We'll chat about it.
Yeah.
I did want to let you guys know, the formula grant, we have received full payment from the state. It was just shy of $14,000. What they wound up doing was they split the payments into two sections. Was not made aware of that until after the fact. The second half of the payment came in about 2 weeks ago. Yes, so that's just the main thing. I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware we did get paid for that. Generally speaking, I did talk with Kristen about our van driver situation. The workers' comp claim has been resolved and we are now able to hire a new driver.
Good.
So I will be putting that out. Basically the end date letter has to go out. Once I get confirmation that that has gone out, I will ask to put the van driver job description back out there again. Yoga is still going on without.
Hold it for a sec. On the van driver, what are we paying and how do we compare to towns around us?
We are paying $17.85 an hour and we do the COLA updates. So I believe for July 1st, it's going up another 2%. Generally speaking, we're comparable.
Wow.
I was going to say, I ran a transportation department at my job, and given the shortage across the country, I think we went up well over 20 for drivers for an elders program, and we are 7 drivers short in a 23 driver workforce, so.
Yeah.
Wow.
As of right now, I would say the wages are okay. It's just more so getting the consistency of hours. That's gonna be the big challenge. But I think, yeah. Generally speaking with yoga, that has been going okay. Just an update in terms of Tai Chi. Our regular person has still not been in contact with me. I've reached out. I'm kind of done. The person who I had reached out to previously, her name was Kristen, about seeing if she could do Tai Chi for us. I haven't been able to get in contact with her either. So I did get in touch with the person who does Tai Chi at Northborough. Her name is Helen. She's actually a reverend. So she actually has availability to teach Tai Chi here on our normal time, Tuesdays at 1. And she can start pretty quickly. So I am just pending paperwork from her, but if she can get it to me, we will start back April 9th.
April 9th. Good,
Yeah, right.
good.
She is $5 more a session, which is not the end of the world. It's fine. She has agreed to do the hybrid because we do have a Zoom link and we do have some people who participate virtually. She has agreed to do that. I told her I would help her get set up when she's here. That's not a problem. So yes, so I'm pending 2 things for paperwork from her. As soon as I get them in and they go into accounting, I can give her if she does it, relatively quickly, I'll have her start on the 9th. If there's any delay in that, that's going to delay her starting Tai Chi. So, but
And how often a week is the Tai Chi class?
it's once a week. It's normally scheduled for Tuesdays at 1.
Is that about the same as other COAs in our area? Once a week?
It depends. So there's like with yoga, there's different types. So I
Yeah.
think some people, like if say, for example, you do like normal Tai Chi and then you may do like another specialty, some towns may do multiple classes, but I mean, I would think just regular Tai Chi once a week is, I think, sufficient. Especially
How
given
many are now participating?
Well, at the end of 2023, we had about 6 to 8 people coming into class, and then we usually had a few people on Zoom. So I suspect we'll get most of them back.
And are both Tai Chi and yoga held at the COA space in the
Yep.
town offices?
Yep.
Okay. Anybody gripe about that?
I mean, at this point, it's kind of status quo.
Everybody knows how to find it. They know where to park.
Yeah, I haven't had, I mean, sometimes the building is maybe a little hot or cold, but I mean, beyond that, we can temperature control it the best we can, so,
Yeah.
Is our yoga hybrid as well?
yes.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Hmm. Then there's virtual yoga. They pretend to go through the motions, but they don't actually. They just sit there and hum. All right. Anybody have questions on Tai Chi or yoga? All right then. Van updates, you said about the drivers.
Yep.
Any more issues with the van itself?
Not at the moment.
Okay, have you looked into it all, getting it re-undercoated since, how old is it now, 4 years?
The van is 4 years old. We did have it serviced by Mobility Works back about a year and a half ago. They didn't say anything at that point about it needing to be re-undercoated. I can certainly look into it. The issue that we've been having is that because the van is running such limited hours and days as of right now, I get a little leery about pulling it off, if we needed it, just because I want to make sure that we can do it, the rides. I will call Mobility Works, see what their availability is and see, if they think that anything for the undercarriage is needed. And we can see, I know.
I'd actually have the Freddie and company look at it, see if it needs undercoating rather than Mobility Works. And when we had it done, when we first got it, it was an outfit up in Sterling.
Okay.
I think you must have records of who did it. And you might check them and see what their turnaround time would be.
All right. I'll ask Fred.
Yeah.
What, I know we talked about at last meeting or the meeting before that we have no budget for maintenance on our van. How do we keep up oil changes and stuff like this and new tires and all of that?
It is part of the expense line that we have, the general expense line. If we have any kind of surprises, that's where the donations account or the formula grant money would come in to cover a bigger expense.
And have there been anything related to safety as an issue?
Not to my
Tie
knowledge.
downs, ramp operation, any of that?
No, we had the van serviced by Mobility Works about a year and a half ago.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, and they did what they needed to do at that point. There was no issue that they reported. Like I said, I can certainly look into getting that readjusted again.
Okay, I am really gung ho to get that thing up and running 5 days a week. I don't know if we lack riders, do you think? Or if it's a 5 day a week possibility that we would increase the ridership?
I think it's kind of a chicken and an egg. Where I think because we don't necessarily have the need for riders, like it's hard to schedule out because right now Russell is scheduled for 3 days a week and right now we're booking him from 1 to 2. And it's even if we offered like shuttles to various places too, it's very inconsistent. So like I said, it's kind of a chicken and the egg. If we make it 5 days a week and say that there's availability, some people may start asking for Monday, Friday rides again, but
Have we set a day or 2 days or whatever for specific things like shopping for groceries, going to shopping for groceries / drugstores, that sort of thing?
I mean, in the past, generally speaking, we usually try to save that for Thursdays, but again, like if Russell's only scheduled for 1 day a week, we may as well just do it all in that one day. So that's kind of where we've been. We've got maybe 2 to 3 people a week asking maybe to go to the grocery store and or for drugstore, anything like that. It's not, and they're very flexible.
Hmm.
I mean, I know I've spoken with Crystal at Northbrook too, and a lot of them they just pick themselves up. Like if somebody has a car, they'll just take a carload of them over
Yeah,
and just do it that way. So what I've tended to notice is that 99% of the rides we get asked for are for medical appointments where they know that
Yeah.
they'll be it's a stressful time for them, or they're going where they don't feel comfortable driving, or something like that.
Hmm. And that would be nice if we had the drivers in order being able to do this, if we were able to advertise the van could be used for taking a group to some concert someplace or whatever.
I mean, it would just have to be something that's nearby and that it wouldn't interfere with any other ride.
Yeah,
Because unfortunately, we would have to block those days off. And there's some people who are there very good. Like we already have medical appointments asked for the end of the year, but then we have some people who are calling us 48 hours ahead of time.
yeah.
And then now it's like, do I, like I said, it's another struggle.
Well, I mean, if we plan far enough out for the van to be used on a day X to go to such and such an event, then people can factor that into their decision about what day they're going to have asked to have their appointments.
Well, I'm open to suggestions, but I would mandate a charge because that's going above and beyond.
I would agree. I would agree.
Especially because, I mean, any concert most likely is not going to be in the surrounding communities. I would say like probably closest maybe Worcester, if not going in the other direction. So
Yeah, I was thinking about what is it in Harvard? The
yeah.
somebody tapped my brain to make it say the name.
No, I get what you're saying. Like I said, I think if there's any event that a group of people wanted to go to, I'm open to entertaining it. I would obviously check with Russell and see, if it's a day that he can take them.
Yeah, I mean, I worked at Mechanics Hall forever, and I have to tell you, every time they did a brown bag concert, there were 10 or a dozen vans from different group homes and senior communities and so forth, bringing up to 15, 20 people just to the concert. So I think I would think that there would be some market for that within the community, but not unless it's offered.
I would say we can put a blurb in the Powder House, the next Powder House, and see if we had a community event or if there was a group event that people were going to go to, would people want the van ride? And we can
Yeah.
ask feedback. And I think we go from there.
You thinking of Hanover Theater, Bob?
No.
Well, Hanover has shows. Mechanics Hall has the free brown bag concerts Wednesdays, 2 or 3 stretches of them during the year. There'll be like 4 or 5 of them in a row. Christmas time, they always have something like the Navy or Air Force band comes in and does a full house Christmas concert, so on and so forth. But the regular thing is on the Wednesdays they have them. They have almost all of them, except for something where they have such a capacity that, I mean, it's such a crowd that they can't fit them all at tables. Regularly, they'd have 40 tables set up on the floor. And if you come from Homestead or whatever, and you want to bring your group there, you can reserve 1 or 2 tables. And they tend to bring their own stuff, their own food, but then they have their own table to sit at.
I think we just put something in the Powder House, see if we get any feedback back. With the van configuration the way it is, it may not be worth it just because we only have like seats for 6 to 7 people, keeping the wheelchair ramp accessible. But I think if we get enough people who say yes, like if we had enough notice, we would love to take this as an option and we can give them a raise. Then if we have enough people who we know are going to a collective event, I'm willing to entertain it.
Do we have any opportunity, have we in the past done any sort of survey to determine,
Yes.
and do we get any response from surveys? You know, are people just not, just used to it not being available? Or is this really the only demand?
So we have had surveys in the past. When the COA has done surveys, we've gotten maybe a dozen responses.
Oh,
The
yeah.
town did a survey back at the beginning of 2023 and we got 600 responses. And it was townwide and it was more based on the community. And general feedback was that they just wanted more. They wanted more services, they wanted more activities, they wanted more information, they just wanted more. So, yeah.
The Berlin Library used to offer group tours and such, but they haven't done that for years.
Yeah. I can't speak to that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Well, what's this? What was it? Putt Bartlett used to do tours, but they were tours to, what is it? The place in Connecticut, the gambling place in Connecticut. There'd be other tours. I mean, go up to Portsmouth, go up to all over the place. Some people paid for those, so they weren't just gratis tours.
But I know like the Bedford COA Senior Center, they used to do a lot of those. But they would, rent something above and that would be part of the cost. So, they'd roll it in. And because it was generally attended by more than 5 people that we could fit on our van,
Yeah, that's true.
But I do think we're at a challenge because a lot of those things I think are best publicized in your senior center, and we don't have one. Like word of mouth gets around with your regulars that come to your senior center, you can post that sort of thing. Without that vehicle, it's a little harder, I think, to get that kind of word out. I mean, I don't know how many people read.
I would say, like, I hear you, Linda. I know that is a challenge. I would just say, let's just even, like, I don't want to go down too far a rabbit hole. Let's just even see if there's an interest at this point. We are working with a fixed budget. I'm not saying no, but I also don't want to promise the moon because we can't.
Well, that's why I suggested, or I was asking about a survey, because if this is all that there is interest, then do we want to try to get more funding for a full-time driver? If he's going to be sitting around.
We can look into it. Yeah. Okay.
Any more discussion on the van? I see number 4 is COVID-19 clinic at Northbrook 2.
Yes.
on April 4th.
Yes, so if you know of anybody, basically the CDC has come out saying that anybody 65 and older can get a booster shot in the spring, if they got one back in the fall. So if anybody would like a booster, just tell them to call me by Friday because that's cut off for registration.
And that was advertised. Was that in the last Powder House?
No, because it got finalized 3 days before, like 3 days after they went out.
God.
Yeah. How about Verlin? How about Verlin Neighbors
Yeah,
Connect?
it's on Facebook. Yep.
Yeah,
And then I've
okay.
got some flyers out as well. So
Hmm. Church bulletins, does it get into those?
I have not had much luck with the churches, but I can certainly ask.
I just asked them about what the heck were we talking about? It might have been something Lions Club or whatever. And they said they'd be happy to post them.
Okay. All right,
So,
I'll reach out.
yeah, I think it's worth a shot. And Rebecca von Geldern is for First Parish Church.
Mhm.
And
I'll figure it out.
yeah, I've got their numbers. So
Okay.
let me know when you want to call them. So you said the sign up cutoff is Friday 29th. Digital literacy update.
So as of right now, we've had a few classes this month already. I taught a class about Berlin Tech Services, and then Victoria at the library taught 2 classes about library resources. We are having some additional classes for April, just really more refresher classes, like testing skills you already have, as well as an introduction class. And we're going to be working for the May-June class schedule pretty soon.
And how many people participated in those?
We had anywhere from, we had one class where it was just one, which was fine because it wound up being a one-on-one. And then we had one class where it was 4 and another class of 2.
Hmm.
So, I'm working on the interim report for that for April. As of right now, we've had a lot of interest in it, and then for some reason, people are just not coming to the classes, but the people who come love it.
Yeah, I wonder what sort of
'Cause it's-
shoehorn is necessary to get them out of there.
I don't know,
Nest.
because they're in the powder house. We have brochures everywhere. I don't know. We're even, having the classes at Northbrook. We had one class at Northbrook. I think we had 5 or 6 participants. So I don't know.
All right. So you said you have some things coming up in digital literacy, which I find hard to roll off my tongue, in April, right?
We're just doing one more intro class and then a couple testing of skills because I'm going to get slammed in April. So we just didn't have the time to do too many classes, but hopefully in May and June, we'll get some more classes going.
What happens in April? All the fools come around to
I
bother you?
have, I have I have to get Reshine certified and I have to do a huge report for the state. So yeah. Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
So you were right, Bob. All the fools come out.
You know, the April Fools. Let's see. Powder House News.
So here's the update with that. We did get the updated census list from the clerk's office, and we were able to get the Powder House out. It was an additional, I think it was about an additional 20 copies that had to get out by mail. With the mailing list and with the request that we had for people to get it by email, we've basically gotten 15 families to sign up for that. And unfortunately, because of the labels that have to get put on for the mailings with the post office, we had to pay an extra $150 to Clinton Offset because they had to put on 750 labels for the post office. So, just to give you guys a heads up, as of right now, this is not finalized as of yet, but as of right now, Finance Committee did approve for the Powder House to be a town paper for FY25. It's still pending town meeting vote, but they are putting aside, so they have approved a budget of $7,500 for Powder House to be a town paper. Kristen would oversee it. it would come out monthly, but it would be smaller.
Huh.
So all the departments, boards, committees could all potentially contribute to it. And like I said, it would just come out, very frequently. But as of right now, when it does become a town paper, I highly doubt that they will pay for postage because it just eats up so much of the budget. So what we're gonna do is we're basically, Kristen has asked me for the next Powder House to put in a blurb, basically telling people if you want it mailed to you, you need to sign up for it.
That's probably better by default, you opt out, opt in, not opt out. Yeah.
Correct.
Well, that's exciting though, that it's not going to fall on our budget.
No, so so we're responsible for 2 more Powder Houses for this fiscal year, and then it's not on us. So we get that money back for next fiscal year.
And how much of its seniorness is going to disappear?
Well, it's gonna be reflecting in everything. So, I mean, yes, we have some.
But fewer pages and more participants. How does that work out?
Because it's just, what they will do is they will figure out how many hard copies that they're gonna make. And they will have them available, obviously online as well. And the push is gonna be for, the younger generations to get it online. So that the harder copies get reserved, are targeted for seniors who really cannot do anything.
Yeah, I find that sad. I think it's going to cease to be a senior publication.
Well, I mean, but at this point too, like through the UMass survey results, I mean, people are saying that they want more clear communication, they want more access to stuff, and this is the beta test for it.
Do you know if like an email will be able to go out? Was this discussed at all? So that it would remind people to go wherever you have to go for it, or a
So
link or
as of
something?
right now, I do have a spreadsheet that has everybody's email address, and then they will be sent an email just saying, hey, the new Powder House is available for you to view and download if you want it. So,
Great.
But then that leaves any seniors who are not into technology not getting it.
it's the trade.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of
Which way?
harsh.
Well, there will be some paper copies though, right?
Yes.
That can be put around.
Kristen is trying to figure how many paper copies per session that they're gonna order. So I don't know how much that's gonna be yet.
Hmm.
And again, this is still pending approval at town meeting because it's a supplemental.
But they won't take that money away from us as they take the paper away from us.
No, so because the COA has been paying for it out of our expense budget, except for the donations account, that they'll still be able to access regardless. So no, the expenses will still have that money back.
Great.
So we can do more with it.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have any rough plan of what we're going to do with the windfall we're going to get when the town has the publication?
Well, we can discuss that next meeting, because like I said, it's still, too early to tell. We can come up with a laundry list at that point of what you guys would like to focus on.
Okay, everybody hear that? Put your thinking caps on. Come up with some ideas, please. Updated census list and mailing. Okay, just discussed that. Preliminary town, blah, blah, blah. Topics for the next issue.
Yeah, I accidentally meant May, June instead of June, July. So just to give you guys a heads up, Alice Kidder passed away. There was a beautiful write-up for her on online that I found. So if you wanted her to be a history maker, you could certainly do that. I could forward that over.
Sure.
That might be a nice tribute for her.
Okay. And I asked, I think he's going to do it. I asked Dave Westerling if he can do a write-up of his story about the Berlin Agricultural Railroad. He did a lecture. He and somebody else did a lecture about that at 19 Carter a couple of months ago. Okay. So that's a possibility. And somebody else suggested, we have talked about the Wheeler family. We've talked about the Brewer family. We haven't talked about the Sawyer family. Oh, well, we kind of did, because we had Jane do something about the garden in the center of town, and that referred back to her grandfather and so on and so forth. But I'm thinking of Skip and Mike and some others.
Reach out.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll sniff around, see in my last days as a cub reporter. Let's see. Open COA vacancy.
Yes.
We
so-
got one.
Yes, we currently do. Rachel has resigned from the council. And so we do have a vacancy. So if you guys know of anybody, or if anybody expresses any interest, have them reach out to me. And I can get their information and we can go from there.
Handout. What's this? Handout flyers, Powder House News copies.
So yes, so I talked to Lucy Ayers and they are doing a Berlin History Day on April 27th. It's gonna be at the library. And Historical is gonna have some stuff going on, and Lucy asked if somebody from the COA or people from the COA would want to go and represent and kind of talk about what it is that the COA does, and if we wanted to have something there to hand out to people. So I had mentioned to Lucy if we had some extra copies at the Powder House, we could bring it. She liked that idea, but I just didn't know if you guys wanted anything else. A, does anybody want to go? And B, do you guys want something like in particular, like printed? Because I could look into doing that. I mean, I wouldn't go crazy, but
We did up a flyer a few years back. Do you
I
still-
know I've been searching, trying to find it, and for some reason I don't have a digital copy of it. So
I did.
You do?
I can send it to you and you can see what you want to do, make changes or.
Perfect, yes, because
Okay.
I've been scouring trying to find it. Because
What time at the library?
that was to be determined. I think Lucy said 11, but I can quadruple check that.
What is that, a Saturday or something?
It's a Saturday.
April 27th. Oh, there's stuff going on every weekend
I know.
in April that I know of. Lions have stuff. Seniors have stuff. Yeah. Full month on the weekends, anyway. All right. What do we got?
So it's up to you guys. Lucy wanted me to ask. I said that I would. If you guys are interested, I can let her know. I'll take a look at the flyer that the leaflet that Lori mentioned. And if it's gonna be, if you guys wanted to have a bulk order, I can even ask Clinton Offset, could they do like 50 and how much this would cost us or something like that, just so we would have something to hand out.
Right. Comments, questions from the council?
The only other thing I wanted to ask you guys is, did you want to do another grab and go before the end of the fiscal year?
Can you explain a grab and go to me?
So we work with a catering company, and what they do is we pick like 2 to 3 meal options, and then the residents have the opportunity to get a free meal. We have like a suggested donation, but it's a free meal to them otherwise. And they can either come to town offices, it's all cooked, ready to go. They can come to town offices, pick it up, or we do a delivery.
Do we have the funding for it?
So I reached out, as of right now, yes. It may be a little tight at the end, but I think as of right now, I think we should be able to swing it.
That would be nice.
I did reach out to Chef du Jour just to see what their availability is, just upcoming.
Mhm.
Because I figured if we pick a date and we can put it in the next Powder House,
Okay.
we can at least then advertise it that way. As of right now, the best day of the week for them is actually going to be Thursdays. They have availability every Thursday in May. I just can't do the 30th. And then they have some availability on some of the Wednesdays in June. But I don't know if June's cutting it too close to the end of the fiscal year.
I think May is good.
Yeah.
So, because like they can do any Thursday in May. So I was thinking either maybe like the 16th or the 23rd.
And what do you like? What do we do when that happens? Come to your office and hand
Yeah.
out meat?
So
Some-
basically we can either, like, we usually get assistance with the deliveries, or like the assistance of the people who come to the town offices for pickup. We can usually just, run them upstairs and bring them up to everybody. So
Mhm. Okay.
Some of their meal prices have gone up. They did send over a new menu with some prices. They don't look to be too bad though, to be honest. I looked at what we normally get and
Mhm.
it's negligible. It's maybe, if anything, it's maybe $1 more per person. The only thing that they've now changed is that they have like a minimum server charger now. So like for their time,
Mhm.
but it's not gonna break us.
Okay, April 13th is the Lions Senior Luncheon
Mhm.
at 19 Carter. I guess the max capacity is 78 people upstairs and downstairs. So, and that's a freebie that one of the Lions members set up with 4 restaurants in the Hudson.
Mhm.
We're all donating the chow. So that seems like that's going to be a good thing. So maybe if we're a month after that or something, somewhere in May.
Yeah, I'm thinking May. I think,
Yep.
I think May would be good, because I think with June, yeah, I think with June, it just may be too close to the end of the fiscal year, so in case, May would be good. I'm thinking maybe if they have availability for Thursdays in May, we could either do like the 16th or the 23rd.
I
May
can do
16
either
or
of
23rd.
those.
May 16 or 23. And those are both Thursdays?
Correct.
Mhm.
Do you guys
for
have a
grab and
preference
go.
of one over the other?
I can do either.
Yeah, both work for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let me whip through this, so I haven't been doing that much on those. Just want to see. May, come on.
How many people do we usually get that want meals?
Generally, we do it more by a meal count than individual people. Usually, we can get almost to 100 meals. We usually get somewhere between 75 and 100.
Mm.
So it's quite popular because people are allowed to order more than one meal.
Oh, they are.
Yes.
Huh.
I don't, because I mean, some people like they eat it for a couple days. I don't care. It's going.
Yeah.
I can do either date. You want to set a date now?
All right. Do we want to do, the 23rd is right before Memorial Day. Do you think that that's going to screw with anybody?
Right before, as in,
Like the Thursday before Memorial Day?
Thursday, I mean, the 27th, Monday. I don't see why it would.
Okay. Do you guys want to do the 23rd? Because it gives us more time to plan it out.
That's fine with me.
that's good to me. Yep.
Okay, all right, I'll let them know that we're interested in May 23rd. And then I can send you guys just some options for food and then we can get it booked.
Okay.
And then if you just tell me what you need me to do,
Absolutely.
because I'm happy to do whatever, but I can come there. Or...
Sounds good.
How are you with brownies? Are you, never mind.
I can make brownies.
It's a very slick operation, Linda.
Yeah, we got it down to a science, so don't worry.
Yeah, it's very easy.
No.
So smooth. People just slide in, slide out. Down with the food. I think if we offered wine with it, we might increase the
I'm sure we would.
cost. I was going to say the
Oh,
cost.
cost, yes.
Yes.
But it would probably increase our deliveries too versus pickups.
If you would like to fund that, Bob, go right ahead.
No drinking and driving.
Oh no. Perish forbid. All right. Any other biz?
Mm-mm.
Any members have a biz? No. All right. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
All those in favor? Linda?
Aye.
Lori?
Aye.
Kate?
Bye.
Bob Blair, aye. Unanimous. Thank you all.